Shalom and welcome to the daily blog for the counting of the Omer, coming this time from my office here in Adat Yeshua, here in Norwich, and it's lovely to see you with us again today. I was reading something this morning, an article from the Times of Israel. You know, yesterday was like Omer, and there was a report in the Times of Israel online this morning of some ultra-Orthodox groups in Jerusalem, in defiance of the rules about social gatherings and so on, gathering together for their big bonfires and so on, as I was talking about yesterday, to celebrate Lag BaOmer. Obviously, the outrage which follows this, and Times of Israel is full in the article of condemnation of this, is that they're flouting the rules here to come together to keep this festival, despite all of the health issues around this and for protection and so on. If there's one thing that Judaism is really, really strong on, is the preservation of life. We know this. This is almost above anything else. We are to preserve life. And yet we find that these ultra groups, could we say extreme groups within Judaism, are coming together to keep this regardless of the impact upon both their families' life, their communities' lives, the people in the community and so on. And I guess on one level, as you know, it's very easy to get angry about this, and I really am cautious with myself at this point on being too critical. I understand, I suppose, the motivation behind all of this, and I've mentioned this in previous blogs, touched upon it in previous blogs, about how we react in a situation like this and how we react in a crisis like this. But it's really the bigger picture. I think I don't really want to just focus upon what's happening there or what happened there for Lag BaOmer. I think there's a bigger issue running behind all of this, which I think we really do have to get our heads around. It's quite simple, is this. When does an unbending religious observance become a problem? You know, it's one thing that we like to do in terms of our observances. We like to obey the law. We want to keep the mitzvot. We want to be focused upon serving and walking with the Lord on this. And yet, if there's a key in all of this, I think, to our understanding of how we obey and how we walk with the Lord in whatever we do, with Lag BaOmer or keeping kosher or Shabbat or anything, frankly, when it comes down to it. Judaism and our faith response to the revelation that God has given us, our faith response in this and how we act out must mean that we are enhancing our lives and those of the lives around us. Our faith and how we practice our faith is not meant to make life worse. You know, for me, this is a critical view when we look at the way the Torah is meant to be. We can so keep the Torah that actually we are creating more problems for people, more issues in their lives, more difficulties, complexity, complications in their lives than anything else. And it seems to me this is obviously not what Torah and keeping the Torah is meant to achieve for us. We're meant to be enhancing life, bringing goodness and release, freedom, deliverance, salvation through keeping the commandments in this way, bringing more of that life with a capital L into our lives. We're not meant to be causing harm. And we see it also with the agunot, of course, the chained women, as one example, with many other examples that, of course, we could pick on at that point. And it's this unbending religious observance. It's like we see with the Lag BaOmer. This is what it is, and we will keep it. Doesn't matter what the outcomes are. Doesn't matter how it's going to harm people. It doesn't matter how many people might suffer, how many eventually may even die because of a situation like that. This is what it is, and we will do it. And I have to ask the question, I suppose, in this. Is such an attitude actually serving God? Or is it about serving the religion which we follow? Who are we actually following? Who are we actually serving? With an attitude like that, I wonder, is this really about serving God? Or are we so trapped in our observance, in fact, that that's become our master? Our religion has become our master and our Lord, rather than God himself. It's a subtle one. It's a nuanced opinion, of course, and you know, we can try and pick holes in this on this nuanced level, but it's important that we do analyze what we do in this way. Can we make our faith into an idol? Of course we can. Of course we can. Yeshua, of course, picked up on exactly that same attitude in the first century, about talking about people with korban and saying, this is for the Lord, and yeah, I know my parents are suffering, but you know what, let's let them suffer. This I've got to give to God. And it's that kind of attitude which is putting our religious practice above what the essence of what Judaism is, which reveals to us, I suppose, that we are slipping from just an obedience into an idolatrous approach to the faith that we have. These are questions that we have to answer. When our faith becomes a stumbling block for ourselves and for others around us to find God and to find the life that He is offering, then we need to be asking ourselves questions about the way we are practicing our faith, practicing our religion, if that's the word you want to use. But it's a big question, and one we absolutely have to face if we are going to genuinely find that right path of walking with Adonai in His days. Thank you for listening to me today. I will see you again tomorrow. Toda rabah, litraot.